Welcome to the Harness Edge. I'm Harold Howe, and we're starting our 2017 two-year-old in training series. We're beginning with our first victim, Blake MacIntosh, here at Meadow Branch Training Center near Flamborough Downs. Blake, we'll get in the two-year-olds in a minute, but we're going to change gears for a moment. Sports column. You were good enough to hold him back for us today, and he's back on the warpath after an interesting year. He made $222,000. Won the Battle of Waterloo, a couple OSS golds, and then he had problems and he was shut down at the end of the season. He looked to a lot of people like he was the best of that Ontario sired class. Where is he today, and how do you feel about things?
I trained in 230 today. He seems really good. We had to shut him down because he popped an oscillate on the left front ankle and just couldn't get it to cool out. So we just shut him down for the betterment of the horse, and it seems to have healed up good and looks great, and no problem so far.
I know I talked with you in December, I guess it was, and you were pretty disappointed that when it was all said and done, you weren't there for a couple of those last dances.
Yeah, I think that if we'd been there, we probably would have been the winner. I don't want to sound cocky, but I think he's the best horse in Ontario, and I think he could be a Grand Circuit horse. I'm really high on him.
February 15th today, stake payment day. How do we feel when you have to reach in your pocket?
I feel pretty confident. We paid him into all the big ones. We've staked him. I don't usually stake very hard, but this is probably the first one I've ever paid in North American Cup, and I think he'll be there in the final.
Good stuff. Okay, let's talk about some of the ones that are going to make you forget about him. How many two-year-olds in total did you go in the winter with?
22. Yeah.
And your strategy changed a bit. You were kind of a bargain guy, and there's a number of examples to prove you knew what you were doing, but you've upped the ante and you got some of the mid-range horses in that $50,000 range. Why the change?
I think the change was because if you want to compete in the Ontario Sire this year, you had to pay for them. And on the one colt, it all started on the first day of Lexington. Leanne and I were in the tent looking at the videos, and Courtly's Choice was my pick of the sale. I loved him. And I looked at Leanne and said, "We're going to go for it this year." I said, "We're going to spend our money and hope for the best." So take a shot, see what happens.
Okay, let's look at some of them here. We'll begin in the first set. Kim's the Best. This is a $50,000 Lexington yearling, better than Cheddar, filly from Winback Farm. Of course, half-sister to Kim's Royal Day, which kind of you'll be infamous for always. Stole for $1,500 and only made $328,000. What do you feel about the half-sister?
I love her. She's either number one or number two of our horses right now. As I said, we paid $1,500 for the sister. I went back and paid $50,000 for her. She's a very nice filly. She just does everything right.
Okay, and with her in that set was Amy Fowler. This is a sports rider filly. It was bred by Tom Knight of Woodsley, Ontario. $32,000 at the Forest City sale.
We went down to the Forest City sale. We were trying to find a couple sports riders, and I felt that she was probably the best looking one down there, and put together the best, and decided to bring her home.
And at this stage, February 15th, I mean, we're not near qualifying, but how do you feel at this stage?
She seems good. She's been in 35 with the rest of them. She's a very nice filly and does everything perfect, so I can't complain about her at all.
Okay. You mentioned Courtly Choice. $60,000 out of Lexington. This is an Art Major colt. Another win back, and a half brother better than Cheddar.
Yeah, Cheddar was one of my favorite horses to watch race, and I loved the horse, and he was just such a tough horse. When we went to the sale and we were looking at him, and I fell in love with the horse. I thought he looked a lot like Cheddar, and I just sort of fell in love. And we don't spend the money, and as I said,
falling in love with horses has proven not to be the best approach.
No, it's not the best approach, but I've had good luck when I fall in love with them. And I fell in love with Sports Column the year before, and I just thought that this could be our chance to have a good one.
Okay. And with him out there was Rendezvous Hanover, Sports Rider Philly, 53,000 out of Harrisburg, of course from Hanover Shoe Farms.
Yeah, we went. Tim and I flew down to Hanover in the summer.
This is Tim Clemenza.
Yeah, Tim Klemenzik and I flew down to Hanover in the summer, and she was our pick. And she's just a nice filly, does everything right. You know, Tim and I don't always agree on the selections of horses, but we both like this one. And I'd watched her sister train down Rain Cloud Hanover, and I thought she was meant to be a good horse and just had some troubles. And so I think that this one's got the breeding to be there.
Okay, and the final set you have for us. Now here's back to your price point, 13,000 out of Harrisburg. You Better Go. This is an Art Major filly, sold from Concord Stud and Burnham Wood Farm.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on buying her, but I looked at her. I liked her. She had a bang on the back left hock where she had been kicked as a baby, but it was just superficial. And I was sitting there and she's going for cheap. I stuck my hand up and I bought her, and she's just been a dream to go with. So.
And at this point, 13,000 looks like you maybe have found a sleeper.
Yeah, it looks like she'll be a nice filly for the New York Sires, and hopefully everything goes right for her all summer.
With her there was Twin Bee Peaches. This is a better than Cheddar filly from Twin Brook Farm, of course. $30,000 yearling. 14th foal of the dam. You don't seem to be too afraid of that stigma of old mares.
I like the old mares. You know, I had one before. I had Twin Bee Speedo, and we sold it for really good money, and he turned out to be a nice horse. And then I was the underbidder on Twin Bee Thong, and I really wanted her, and she turned out to be a very nice filly. And we're good friends with Tammy and Rob, and they raised an unreal horse. And so I've watched this horse be raised from a weaner, and I loved her all along. You know, she has a bit of an offset knee, but as you know, that doesn't bother me because, you know, Colin's got one too. And I just love the filly, and I was sitting there, and I thought she was a $50,000 filly. I hadn't planned on buying her because I'd been bought up, and I bought her, and then I pieced her out, and been very pleased with her.
Good stuff. Well, that's a nice offering today. I wish you luck. Those payments have to be in today. Good luck with things ahead, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, thanks a lot, Harold.
Harold Howe with Blake MacIntosh, 2-year-olds in training.